Meghan Markle loses it after Prince Harry's secret romance shock leaves everyone speechless. Everything they built, everything they fought for, everything they abandoned a kingdom for is collapsing in real time. And tonight, the walls aren't just closing in on Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. They are crashing down with a force so brutal, so humiliating, so publicly devastating, that even their closest allies are quietly stepping back from the wreckage. Because what happened inside that London courtroom didn't just break Harry. It broke something far more dangerous. It broke the illusion. The illusion that Megxit was a victory. The illusion that leaving the royal family was freedom. The illusion that America would save them. And Meghan? Meghan is reportedly spiraling. Sources say she hasn't been seen in public for days. Insiders whisper that the Montecito mansion has gone dark. That phones are ringing and no one is answering. That the woman who once commanded global headlines is now hiding from them. Because the truth just detonated. And it's uglier than anyone imagined. A court ruling that stripped Harry of the one thing he swore he could never live without. A future in Britain that has just been officially sealed shut. A financial empire built on Netflix deals and Spotify contracts crumbling piece by piece. And a marriage, yes, that marriage being tested in ways the public has never been told. Stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through every leaked detail, every insider whisper, every shocking moment that has turned the fairy tale into a full-blown nightmare. And trust me, the ending will leave you speechless. To understand just how catastrophic this moment truly is, you have to rewind. You have to go back to the beginning, to the day the world first watched a Hollywood actress walk into Kensington Palace and turn the entire British monarchy upside down. It was 2016 when the world first learned that Prince Harry, the beloved rebel prince, the party boy turned humanitarian, the son the nation adopted as its own after Princess Diana's tragic death, had fallen in love. And not with a countess, not with a European princess, not with the daughter of some ancient aristocratic bloodline, but with Meghan Markle, an American, a divorcee, a biracial actress from a cable television legal drama called Suits. And the world was captivated. Absolutely captivated. For a moment, a brief, glowing, magical moment, it felt like the monarchy had finally caught up with the modern world. The 2018 wedding at Windsor Castle was watched by nearly 2 billion people. Gospel choirs sang inside centuries-old stone walls. An African-American bishop delivered a sermon that shook the ancient institution to its core. And Meghan Markle, in that pure white Givenchy gown, walked down the aisle not just as a bride, but as a symbol of change, a symbol of hope, a symbol of a monarchy that could finally evolve. But behind those cathedral doors, behind those smiling family portraits, behind those carefully choreographed public appearances, something was already going terribly, terribly wrong. Because the palace, as insiders would later reveal, was never built for someone like Meghan. And Meghan, as the world would soon discover, was never willing to be shaped by the palace. The clashes began almost immediately. Reports of tears over bridesmaid dresses. Whispers of tension with Kate Middleton. Anonymous staffers describing a work environment that was allegedly so unbearable, they gave it a name. They called it Megxit long before the world ever did. Sources claimed aides were reduced to tears. That Meghan was demanding, exacting, impossible to please. And Meghan's supporters fired back, accusing the palace of racism, of sabotage, of a coordinated smear campaign to destroy her from within. Then came the son, Archie. Then came the daughter, Lilibet. Then came the moment that broke everything. January 2020. A single announcement posted on Instagram, without warning, without approval, without even informing the Queen herself. Harry and Meghan were stepping back from royal duties. They were leaving Britain. They were building a new life in North America, on their own terms. The world called it Megxit. The palace called it a betrayal. And Queen Elizabeth herself was reportedly blindsided, humiliated, and furious. They fled to Canada first, then to Los Angeles, then finally to Montecito, California, where they purchased a $14.65 million mansion that would become the fortress of their new independent empire. And what an empire they promised. A $100 million Netflix deal, a multi-million-dollar Spotify partnership, a book deal for Harry's memoir, a production company, a lifestyle brand, speaking engagements. endorsements, foundations. The Sussexes were going to reinvent celebrity itself. And for a while, a very brief while, it looked like it might actually work. Then came the Oprah interview, the bombshell accusations, the claims of racism inside the royal family, the revelation that someone had allegedly questioned how dark baby Archie's skin might be. The world was stunned. The monarchy was rocked. And for a moment, Harry and Meghan seemed untouchable. But then, slowly, painfully, publicly, the cracks began to show. The Spotify deal collapsed. Meghan's podcast, Archetypes, was quietly cancelled after just one season. Insiders leaked that executives had privately called the couple grifters. The Netflix documentary series drew mixed reviews. Harry's memoir Spare made headlines for weeks, but it also destroyed what was left of his relationship with his brother William, his father King Charles, and virtually every senior member of the royal family. Then came Meghan's controversial appearances. The private jet flights while preaching about climate change. The lavish Beyoncé concerts while claiming to live a quiet family life. The rebranded lifestyle company, American Riviera Orchard, which faced trademark issues before it ever launched. The reboot as Ever, a jam and lifestyle brand, met with lukewarm reception and endless internet mockery. And through it all, one issue haunted them more than any other. One issue Harry could not let go of. One issue he was willing to fight the British government itself to resolve: security. When they stepped down as senior royals, Harry lost his taxpayer-funded police protection during visits to the UK. And Harry, traumatized by his mother's death, terrified for his family's safety, obsessed with the idea that Britain was no longer safe for him, took the government to court. He sued. He appealed. He fought for years. Because to Harry, this wasn't just about security. It was about his identity, his birthright, his connection to the country that raised him. And in early 2025, that fight reached its final brutal conclusion. The Court of Appeal in London delivered a ruling that Harry never saw coming. A ruling that didn't just deny his request. A ruling that publicly, definitively, and permanently closed the door on his old life. And when the news reached Montecito, when the phone call came through to that quiet California mansion, Meghan Markle reportedly did something she had never done before. She panicked. The morning of the ruling started like any other in Montecito. The sun was rising over the Pacific. The gardeners were tending to the estate. The staff was moving quietly through the halls. And inside that carefully guarded mansion, Meghan Markle was reportedly on the phone with her team, going over the final details of her upcoming As Ever brand relaunch. She was hopeful. She was focused. She was preparing for what was supposed to be her big comeback moment. A moment that would remind the world she was still a force to be reckoned with. And then the phone rang. Sources close to the couple describe what happened next in devastating detail. Harry was in London, alone, standing on the steps of the Royal Courts of Justice. And the news that came through was not the news he had been promised. He had lost. He had lost everything. Justice Sir Geoffrey Voss delivered the ruling with cold, surgical precision. Harry's appeal was dismissed. His challenge against the decision to downgrade his security was rejected. His argument that he had been treated unfairly, singled out, punished for stepping down as a working royal, all of it dismissed. All of it rejected. All of it gone. And Harry, the man who had flown across an ocean, who had missed his own children's routines, who had staked his emotional well-being on this single legal battle, reportedly stood there in stunned silence. Witnesses say his face went pale. His hands were shaking. He didn't speak for what felt like an eternity. Because in that single ruling, the court had done something worse than deny him protection. It had officially, permanently, publicly declared that his old life was over, that he could never truly go home, that the country he loved had legally finally said goodbye. And when the news reached Meghan, according to insiders, Meghan didn't scream. She didn't cry. She didn't rage. She did something far more terrifying. She went completely silent. Staff members reportedly watched as she slowly put the phone down, as she walked out of the room without saying a word, as she disappeared into the private wing of the mansion and closed the door behind her. She reportedly didn't come out for hours, because Meghan understood, perhaps before anyone else, exactly what this ruling meant. It meant the money was going to dry up faster. It meant the leverage was gone. It meant that every future negotiation, every future deal, every future public appearance was now going to happen without the safety net of a possible royal return. It meant that the fantasy of one day walking their children through the halls of Windsor Castle was officially, legally, permanently dead. And then came the leaked messages. An anonymous source, reportedly from within Harry's own inner circle, allegedly leaked private communications to a British tabloid. Messages that painted a picture no one was supposed to see. Messages in which Harry allegedly admitted to close friends that he felt trapped, that he felt isolated, that he missed Britain every single day, that he wondered aloud what his life would have looked like if she had never come. She, Meghan, the wife he had fought for, the wife he had crossed oceans for, the wife he had renounced his royal duties for. The internet exploded. Screenshots, real or fabricated, began circulating within hours. Hashtags trended worldwide. Harry regrets, Meghan panic, Montecito meltdown. The tabloids feasted. The commentators piled on. And Meghan Markle, the woman who had spent years crafting her image with the precision of a Hollywood publicist, suddenly had no story to tell. She was cornered. She was exposed. She was, for the first time in her carefully controlled public life, losing the narrative. And then just when it seemed like things could not possibly get worse came the twist. The twist no one saw coming. The twist that changed everything. Because right in the middle of all this chaos, a name began to surface. A name that had been whispered in royal circles for months. A name that Meghan Markle had reportedly been terrified would ever go public. A woman. A British woman. Someone from Harry's past. Someone who had allegedly stayed in touch with him quietly, subtly, consistently, through emails, through mutual friends, through channels Meghan had never fully been able to monitor. Now let me be very clear here for legal reasons. There is no confirmation that Prince Harry has been unfaithful. There is no proof of an affair. There are only whispers, only speculation, only patterns that certain royal commentators have begun connecting in ways that have set the internet ablaze. But the whispers alone were enough. The whispers alone were devastating. The whispers alone reportedly sent Meghan into a spiral so intense that her closest confidants are said to have flown in from Los Angeles to be by her side. Because for Meghan, this wasn't just about a rumor. This was about the story she had built. This was about the fairy tale she had sold to the world. This was about the marriage she had staked her entire identity on. And if that marriage, even in perception, even in whispers, was seen as cracking, then everything Meghan Markle had ever built was suddenly, terrifyingly, on the verge of collapse. And what happened next? What Harry did in the days that followed? That's where this story stops being drama and becomes something far more dangerous. Because Harry did not come home. Let me repeat that. In the aftermath of the most devastating legal loss of his entire life, in the middle of the most explosive rumors his marriage had ever faced, Prince Harry did not immediately fly back to Montecito. He did not rush to Meghan's side. He did not board a private jet the moment the ruling came down. He stayed in Britain for days. And the internet noticed. Oh, the internet noticed. Within hours, speculation exploded across every platform. Twitter, now X, was flooded with theories. TikTok creators dissected every second of Harry's post-court appearances. Royal commentators went live for hours, breaking down every detail. Why did he stay? Who was he seeing? What was he doing? And then came the sighting that broke the internet. A photograph, grainy, blurry, taken by a member of the public, allegedly showed Prince Harry entering a private members' club in central London. A club he had frequented in his bachelor days. A club where he had reportedly met the very woman whose name had begun trending online. He was not alone. He was reportedly accompanied by two old friends from his Eton days. Friends Meghan had allegedly cut off years ago. The photograph spread like wildfire. Every royal watcher on the planet analyzed it. Body language experts weighed in. Lip readers claimed to have decoded fragments of conversation. And though nothing was ever confirmed, the damage was already done. Because in Meghan's world, perception is everything. And the perception was catastrophic. Insiders claim that Meghan tried to call Harry repeatedly. That her calls went unanswered. That she left message after message, growing more frantic with each attempt. One source, speaking anonymously to a well-known royal correspondent, allegedly said, "She was pacing the halls. She was shaking. She kept asking, 'Why isn't he picking up? Why isn't he coming home?'" And then came the second bombshell, the twist that no one saw coming. A palace insider, someone allegedly with direct access to senior royal aides, leaked information that sent shockwaves through the entire narrative. According to this source, Prince Harry had reportedly made a private, unannounced visit to a family member. Not William, not Charles, someone else, someone the tabloids immediately began speculating about. Was it Kate Middleton, quietly recovering from her own health battles? Was it Princess Eugenie, one of the last royals Harry still remained close to? Was it, as some outlets whispered, a secret meeting with King Charles himself, a meeting the palace refused to confirm or deny? The mystery only deepened. And Meghan? Meghan was still in Montecito, alone, reportedly watching the same news feeds as the rest of the world, reportedly discovering her husband's movements not from her husband, but from the internet. The betrayal insiders claim was crushing. And then came the tweets, the endless savage viral tweets. Meghan planned Megxit down to the last detail, but she never planned for Harry to wake up. 84K likes. Watching Meghan Markle realize she can't control the narrative anymore is the most satisfying thing I've seen all year. 210K likes. Harry's not coming home. He's finally free. 156K likes. The comment sections were brutal. The hashtags were merciless. And celebrity commentators, the ones who had once cheerled the couple's exit from Britain, began, one by one, distancing themselves. A well-known American talk show host reportedly told her producers she would no longer be covering Sussex news unless there was a divorce announcement. A famous British broadcaster tweeted, "The empire of Sussex is over. It was never real to begin with." And still Harry did not come home. Instead, reports began surfacing that he had been spotted at Frogmore Cottage, the very home that had been stripped from him after his fallout with the royal family. Groundskeepers allegedly saw him walking the grounds alone. A neighbor claimed to have seen him standing at the gates for nearly an hour, just staring. Was he saying goodbye? Was he reminiscing? Was he, as some insiders quietly suggested, plotting a way back? Nobody knew. But everybody was watching. And then, just when the internet thought it couldn't handle another twist, one more bombshell dropped. A well-connected royal biographer went on national television and made a claim so explosive, so unexpected, so devastating, that within minutes it was the #1 trending topic worldwide. She claimed, and I'm quoting here, that Meghan Markle had been quietly consulting divorce attorneys for months, that the security ruling was not the cause of the current crisis, but the final trigger, that Meghan, sensing the financial and reputational collapse coming, had allegedly begun preparing exit strategies of her own. The rumor detonated. The internet went into meltdown. And Meghan's PR team, reportedly caught completely off guard, issued no statement, no denial, no response, only silence. And in the world of celebrity crisis management, silence is often the loudest confession of all. Because when your entire brand is built on control, and suddenly you have none, the world doesn't just watch you fall. The world watches you unravel. And Meghan Markle, according to sources on the ground in Montecito, was unraveling in real time. But even all of that was not the biggest twist still to come. Because the moment those divorce rumors hit the internet, the entire cultural conversation shifted. This was no longer a royal story. This was no longer a tabloid drama. This was a global spectacle, the kind that comes along once in a generation and dominates headlines for weeks. Social media broke into two furious warring camps, and the battle lines were drawn with brutal, unforgiving clarity. On one side, the Sussex squad, Meghan's loyal, fierce, endlessly devoted fanbase. They rushed to her defense with the coordination of a military operation. Hashtags trended within minutes. Stand with Meghan. Protect Meghan. Royal racism exposed. They accused the British media of orchestrating a coordinated takedown. They demanded justice. They insisted Meghan was, as always, the victim of a system that had never wanted her. On the other side, the critics, larger, louder, and more organized than ever before. Royal loyalists, British traditionalists, American commentators who had grown tired of the Montecito narrative. They erupted with a mixture of vindication and merciless glee. "We Told You So" became the unofficial anthem of the anti-Meghan camp. Compilation videos of Meghan's most controversial moments racked up millions of views. Old clips of her Oprah interview were re-analyzed frame by frame, with commentators pointing out alleged inconsistencies that had gone unnoticed for years. And then the celebrities began to weigh in. A famous British actress, someone who had once publicly defended Meghan during the height of the Oprah interview backlash, reportedly told a friend that she regretted ever having taken a side. A well-known American musician who had performed at a Sussex charity event was said to have quietly removed all photos with the couple from her Instagram. A political commentator, previously neutral, went on live television and declared, "The Sussex fairy tale is over. And the only person who hasn't accepted it yet is Meghan Markle." The industry was pulling back. The support system was thinning. And the whispers were growing deafening. Meanwhile, the tabloid war reached a fever pitch. British newspapers ran competing exclusives, each more damaging than the last. One claimed Meghan had already begun consulting with real estate agents about downsizing the Montecito estate. Another claimed she had been seen at a Los Angeles cafe in dark sunglasses alone, looking distressed. A third claimed she had reached out to a former Suits co-star for emotional support, a co-star she had reportedly cut ties with years ago. None of these reports were officially confirmed, but in the age of viral speculation, confirmation is optional. Perception is everything. And then came the celebrity meltdown moment that truly set the internet ablaze. A wildly popular American podcast host, with an audience of tens of millions, dedicated an entire 2-hour episode to the Sussex crisis. She dissected every angle, every rumor, every leaked message, and in a moment that instantly went viral, she looked into the camera and said, "Meghan Markle didn't just marry into the royal family. She married into the greatest brand on earth. And now watching her lose that brand in slow motion is the most tragic reality show any of us have ever seen." The clip went viral. It was shared millions of times. It was played on morning news programs. It was quoted by columnists and analyzed by commentators. And Meghan's silence, her continued, deafening, uncomfortable silence, only made the clip land harder. But not everyone was cheering. Some of the biggest names in progressive media rallied fiercely to Meghan's defense. They called the coverage misogynistic. They called it racist. They called it a coordinated global attack on a black woman who dared to defy an ancient white institution. And they were not wrong to point out that much of the criticism did carry a disturbing edge, an edge that had followed Meghan since the very first day she stepped into the royal spotlight. And so the culture war raged. Feminists debated commentators. British tabloids battled American magazines. Fans battled critics. Podcasters battled columnists. And in the middle of it all, one woman in one Montecito mansion was reportedly staring at her phone, watching her entire life become a global punchline. Then came the moment nobody expected. A source close to Meghan's inner circle allegedly leaked a single devastating detail. A detail that painted the most vulnerable picture of Meghan Markle the public had ever been offered. According to this source, Meghan had reportedly told a close friend, through tears, that she felt completely alone, that she was terrified, that she didn't know who to trust anymore, that she felt the world was turning on her, and there was no one left to protect her. The quote, real or fabricated, spread with the speed of wildfire. And for the first time in years, even some of Meghan's harshest critics reportedly softened. Because whatever anyone thinks of her, whatever role she has played in this global drama, one truth was becoming impossible to ignore. Meghan Markle was crumbling. Publicly. Painfully. Permanently. And Harry, the man who had once vowed to protect her from the very world he had grown up in, was still nowhere to be found. The Invictus Games one-year countdown in Birmingham came and went. Meghan did not attend. Organizers, according to leaked reports, were reportedly relieved. Harry attended briefly, delivered a short speech, and left. Their once inseparable public partnership, the united front they had spent years cultivating, was suddenly, visibly, painfully separated. And every camera in the world caught it. Every commentator noted it. Every fan wondered, is this the beginning of the end? But the biggest bombshell of all, the final jaw-dropping revelation that would rewrite this entire story, was still coming. And when it dropped, the whole world would be forced to reconsider everything they thought they knew. Because just when everyone assumed the story had reached its emotional peak, just when the internet believed there was nothing left to reveal, a single email allegedly leaked from an unnamed source close to the Sussex household. And what that email allegedly contained changed the entire trajectory of this story. It was reportedly a communication between a senior member of Meghan's team and an executive at a major global streaming platform. And in that email, according to the source, Meghan Markle was allegedly discussing, and I want you to sit down for this one, the possibility of launching a solo documentary, a tell-all, a raw, unfiltered, no-holds-barred personal project. Without Harry, without royal input, without permission from anyone. Read that again. Without Harry. Because if that email is real, and remember this is still unverified, still speculative, still whispered rather than confirmed, then it changes everything we thought we knew about the Sussex marriage. It means that while Harry was reportedly in London, spiraling from his court loss and disappearing into private clubs and quiet visits to lost family homes, Meghan was allegedly quietly, methodically, preparing her own next chapter. A chapter in which Harry might be a supporting character. Or worse, no character at all. The internet detonated. The theory took off like nothing before. Commentators immediately began asking the question the entire world was suddenly thinking. Had Meghan been planning her exit strategy the entire time? Had she, the woman who had allegedly orchestrated Megxit from the beginning, already begun orchestrating Sussex exit? Was Harry not the villain of this story, as some believed, but the victim of a much longer, much colder plan? And the timing was almost too perfect. The security ruling had stripped Harry of his leverage, his British connections, his safety net. And with Harry now permanently disconnected from the royal machine, he was suddenly, alarmingly, less valuable as a partner, less useful as a co-brand, less essential to the empire of Sussex. Was Meghan doing what she has always been accused of doing? Was she, with the surgical precision of a Hollywood strategist, beginning the process of moving on? Nobody could confirm it. Nobody could deny it. But the theory took hold, and once it took hold, it could not be stopped. Then came the second twist within the twist. A well-known royal expert, someone with deep connections inside Buckingham Palace, appeared on a British morning show and dropped a bomb so unexpected, so cinematic, that it left the host speechless. According to this expert, King Charles III had allegedly reached out to Prince Harry in the past several weeks. Quietly, privately, through back channels. And the message, according to the expert, was clear. The door was still open. But only for Harry. Only for Harry alone. The room went silent. The host stammered. And the internet went into full meltdown mode. Because if that message is accurate, if King Charles had truly extended an olive branch to his younger son, without extending the same to his American daughter-in-law, then Harry was suddenly facing a decision no one, not even his most devoted fans, had ever imagined he would have to face. Choose the wife who had reportedly begun preparing her own exit strategy, or choose the family, the country, the birthright he had grown up with. And the timing of this alleged conversation, coming just weeks after his devastating court loss, just weeks after he had reportedly been spotted alone at Frogmore Cottage, suddenly made every earlier detail take on a terrifying new meaning. His refusal to return to Montecito immediately, his visits to old friends, his quiet reappearance at private clubs, his long walks through the grounds of his lost British home. Had he not been mourning what he had lost? Had he been quietly preparing for what he was about to reclaim? The theories exploded. TikTok creators built entire timelines. YouTubers went live for hours. Royal commentators wrote thousands of words dissecting every possible angle. And in the middle of all of it, a single question echoed louder than every other. Was Prince Harry preparing to come home? And if he was, what would that mean for Meghan? Because a Harry back inside